Uh, Earlier last week, projections of Kansas, the revenues in Kansas, said that there would have to be another round of deep budget cuts before the end of June in the area of about $300 million. dollars. 240 million of that comes from Kansas Governor Sam Brownback's tax cuts. But the situation apparently is worse than that. A new analysis by Josh Barro at the New York Times Upshot blog suggests that that number is very optimistic, and that the state revenues from income taxes won't fall short by 230 million. Rather, the state will miss its target in tax revenue by $500 million. Now, that analysis by Josh Barro comes, as you know, not more than a week or so after Brownback won re-election. I hope the state of Kansas just falls apart at the goddamn seams. I hope it's like, I hope it's like Brownback has taken all the screws and the nuts and the bolts out of a metal chair. And the next time Kansas goes to sit its ass down on the chair, it collapses because of what Brownback has done. I'm sorry. I wouldn't wish all this on the people of Kansas, because I know who's taken it in the chops. It's not the rich people. It's not the politician. It's not the capitalists. It's the poor folk. It's the so-called middle class are just being beaten to death. But you know what? Live with it, you stupid bastards. You reelected him? Live with it. Live with it. Understand what you're doing to the people in your state who can least defend themselves. Live with it, you fake Christians, you crazy psychopaths. At points, as the Talking Points memo points out, at points throughout the 2014 midterms, it appeared that the backlash to Brownback and his decision to pass these drastic tax cuts could result in his undoing. But Brownback won. The morons in Kansas. Who are these people? Well, Mike, they're people who live there and love Sam because Sam is a real Bible-believing Christian, don't you know? This estimate from the reality of how much tax revenue is going to come into the state thanks to Brownback's cuts. The estimate said that the state would have to use up the $380 million it holds in reserves to fill this hole in the budget, and then cut another $280 million to balance the state budget in fiscal year 2015. Now, when the state budget is cut again, when another third of the billion is cut out of the state budget, where do you think those cuts are going to occur? Who do you think will suffer from those cuts? All this rancid son of a bitch Brownback, a typical Republican, would have to do would institute a state income tax of 1%, or a state tax on commodity, or not commodity, but what do you call it? Stock stock purchases or stock sales, anything. Uh, Increase, institute a temporary tax on corporations doing business in Kansas whose gross revenues are over, pick a number, $100 million a year. But no, you know who's going to pay for this? The kids who depend on public education, from preschool all the way up through whatever state colleges still exist in Kansas. Veterans, old people, poor people, people on whatever kinds of social safety net or welfare programs still exist in that rancid state. That's who's going to pay for it. So the people, the people of Kansas, I really, again, I understand who's going to be hurt, but maybe there are people in Kansas, I doubt it, but maybe the people who voted for this reptilian son of a bitch will feel guilty when they see the homeless population increase, when they see the school budgets cut. I doubt it, because they'll say, well, they don't belong in public school anyway, send them to church school. I just hope that the people of Kansas who voted for Brownback will feel the lash. I cannot believe. That's become the one phrase I repeat over and over and over again. I can't believe XXYYZZ. But here it is. Kansas budget shortfall may be twice as bad as predicted by Brownback. Brownback is a lying son of a bitch. He's a fundamentalist Christian. By definition, he's a liar. He's a fundamentalist Christian right-wing politician. By definition squared, he's a liar and a cheat and a sneak. And the good people of Kansas love him. That's why they voted him back in.